This video. In the last video, or let's say in the part one, I was talking about the requirement for law for the identity candidate specifically. So I've discussed the A-level requirements. I was discussing the importance of English language and literature in the O-level requirement. So you must have English language and literature as composite subjects. You're applying for law as either a directory candidate or UTME candidate. So I said that you might have biology, physics, chemistry, English, and literature. That's 5 subjects if you're applying for law. So that means you can have English language, literature in English, and any other 3 subjects, relevant subjects from arts, social sciences, or science. Or you can use 2 sittings including English language, literature, and any other 4 subjects from arts, social sciences, or science. So that's very liberal. So you must have that O-level requirement. And secondly, the second category of people that can apply for law as a direct entry candidate are those who have a good first degree with credit in English language and literature at O-level. A good first degree. So the question they used to ask about this is that what's a good first degree? Okay, you should have a good grade in a first degree you are using to apply for law. But that first degree is not qualified. They did not tell us whether it should be a relevant degree or not. You can use medicine and surgery, you can use MBBS to apply for law as a direct entry candidate. You can use BSc post science, you can use BA English language, you can use any other degree, but they are asking for a good first degree with O-level requirement. So I think we are good as regards admission requirements in general. So I've talked about Cambridge A-level, I've talked about ND, I've talked about HND, I've talked about NC, I've talked about nursing, I've talked about those who are using first degrees to apply for courses. So those are the important aspects as regards interpretation of these uh, requirements. So statistics as well, A level, and also the special remarks here. So that's that about that. If you still have any question or clarification regarding okay, we used to have issues with computer science people as well. So this place, I think if you are applying for computer science as a direct entry candidate, just note that admission is very competitive everywhere and it is the survival of the fittest. So the Cambridge requirement, and secondly OND or HND in computer science or any other mathematics based courses with at least grade of upper credit. So don't use anything lower than upper credit to apply for computer science as a direct entry candidate if you're having OND or HND. So ask yourself, if you're having candidates that are having OND and HND, which one would you consider first? So answer that in your mind. It's the survival of the fittest. They choose the best among the best. Okay, I think we are good regarding that. If you still have any questions, just let me know and you might be required to pay for consultation. Okay, that's the first and the most important step when you're applying for uh, admission in UI as a data entry candidate. Checking the requirement for the course you're applying for. Make sure you read, you understand, and you possess the stated requirements. So let's go to number two. Number two steps as a data candidate after you have checked the requirement for the course that and you are sure that you have The requirement is to apply for JAMB DE registration. Apply for JAMB DE registration whenever it is announced. So one of the mistakes that I used to come across from data entry candidates is that most of them, they will just be asking me, when is UID form out, is UID registration out, and all that. So all those questions, they do not, some of them do not know that they are required to apply for admission through JAMB, and that starts from, I don't know how you want me to use this language so that you understand, and that starts from buying JAMB DE form, buying JAMB DE registration, or applying for JAMB DE registration. You should understand with all those languages that you have to apply for admission through JAMB, you have to take JAMB DE form, you have to register for JAMB direct entry. Very important. So whenever it is announced, so they announce it every year. After UTME registration, direct entry registration will follow. That's, I mean, JAMB direct entry registration will follow. You follow the same procedure, or you follow any procedure that JAMB has laid down. So you get your profile code, you get your EPIN, JAMB DE EPIN, then you proceed to JAMB CBT centers to complete registration and follow every procedure that they have announced. Any procedure that they have announced according to JAMB, they might require that, okay, bring your previous JAMB admission letter, okay, bring your regularization, okay, bring your original WAEC result, okay, bring this, bring that. You must complete that JAMB direct entry registration. Very important. That's number 2. And any procedure they lay down, you have to follow it. Number 3, you apply for UI POST-UTME registration whenever it is announced. Some of those people as well, many of them would be unaware that, okay, they have to register for UI POST-UTME registration. So there is nothing like UID form. There is nothing like UI direct entry form. But we just use that language so that you understand. You have to apply for UIDE registration. There is nothing like buying UIDE form. There is no physical form anywhere. You will register the same way that UI POST-UTME people, the same way they register. That's the same way you will register as well. They will open the portal at the same time and they will close it at the same time. Although you might be required to upload some document during the registration process, uh, contrary to how POST-UTME people used to do it. So number 2, JAMB DE registration are very important. Follow every of their procedure and do it very well. Number 3, UI direct entry registration. It does not come separately. So asking the wrong question of when UID form will come out, or when and all those questions, they are quite I don't know how to put it now. Okay, UID registration will not come out separately. Whenever UI POST-UTME has been announced, that's when direct entry registration also will commence. They announce it all together. There is no UID form anywhere. You will register for UI POST-UTME direct entry registration whenever it is announced. I'm trying to repeat that for emphasis. So after you are done with that registration, you will follow every procedure laid down by UI during that registration. You log into the same portal as POST-UTME candidates as they do, with your JAMB registration number and with your surname. After which you will pay for every payment that is on the portal. After which you go ahead inputting your personal information. The one that has been obtained from JAMB will be there, and the one that they need you to fill, they will be there. You will see it on the portal. Then you move to post secondary information. They will ask you to supply your qualification that you want to use to apply for admission, apart from O-level results. So that's where you upload your maybe Cambridge A-level results, maybe ND results, NC results, HND, or nursing certificate, or first degree, you will follow every procedure laid down by UI regarding post-UTME registration. You see that I write it, or let me say I wrote it, or it is written together. There is no separate UIDE form. Please note, asking that question is very wrong. That when is UI DE form will come out or something like that. So all those questions, yeah. So after you are done with that third step, then you process your transcript to the admission office email address after that, number 3. So I used to have issues with them at this point as well. So and let me break it down. uh Different categories of people apply for admission through that entry. As I said, Cambridge people, ND people, NC people, HND, nursing, and first degree. So like 6 categories of people, and they have their procedures. Okay, this number 4 is very subjective and is very personalized. Process your transcript applies specifically for those who have access to their transcripts, or those that their previous institution use transcripts. Although academic transcript is general, and for this purpose, if you belong to Cambridge category, you may not have a transcript. You will have your result, Cambridge A-level result. So that Cambridge A-level result, as far as this number 4 is concerned, that's what you will take to the admission office alongside your O-level result, your JAMB DE registration form, and your UI POST-UTME registration printout, and any other document you deem fit. You will submit them physically to the admission office first, and then scan or snap all those documents and send it to the admission office email address. That's for Cambridge A-level people. If you do not get that, just repeat this the video and listen to it again. For the second category of people, let's say NC people. NC people as well, you go to your previous institution, you go to your college of education to request for your academic transcript. If they release it to you, good. If they don't, then you will process it. There are 2 ways to processing of transcript: either hard copy, which is a physical copy, or e-copy, which will be sent via email. So if you are getting the hard copy, or if your school states that okay, we don't process e-copy, we only process hard copy, they will process it to the admission office physical address. That's for hard copy or physical copy. Or if they only process e-copy, then you will give them UI admission office email address, undergraduate admission office email address. That's where they will process that transcript to, that e-copy to. I hope you are listening, SC graduates. So after you have gotten those transcripts, either they have sent it via email or via physical logistic company and all that, then you will take your JAMB DE registration form, that's printout, UI POST-UTME registration printout, your O-level results, your NC results, all those documents. You take them physically and you submit them to the undergraduate admission office block. You go to their office, to admission office, and submit them physically. Then you will still scan all those documents and send them to the undergraduate admission office email address. That's for NC people. For ND and HND, you are doing the same thing, and also for uh, first degree people, you are doing the same thing. You are going to request your academic transcripts from your previous institutions. You ask them to process them to the undergraduate admission office. If it is hard copy, they will process it physically. They will send it via courier services or logistic and all that. That's their job, to process the transcript after you must have paid them. Or if you are applying for that the e-copy of the transcript, they will send those transcripts to the undergraduate admission office email address. After they have done that, then you will take your JAMB direct entry printout, your UI direct entry printout, your statement of result or certificate or ND or HND or first degree, and your O level results. You take all those documents to the admission office physically. Then you will still scan or snap all those documents and send them to the admission office email address. That's that. And then for nursing people as well, you will do the same thing as Cambridge. You will not have transcript, but you have statement of result, your license, your JAMB DE printout, your UI POST-UTME and identity printout, and your level results. You take them physically to the admission office, and you still snap and scan them and send them to the admission office email address. When you get to that point, we provide you the email address you send it to. I think we are done with that. Number 4. Then number 5, you follow every other procedures by JAMB regarding the registration. They might ask you to write an aptitude test. I don't know. They might ask you to do this, do that. Just follow their procedure and make sure you complete it. Because without JAMB D registration, you won't be able to register for UI POST-UTME registration. Very important. So number 6, there is no UID form or registration without JAMB D registration. I've stressed and I've emphasized that UI director candidate will register for UI POST-UTME DE registration. You will register for UI POST-UTME registration. You don't expect UI to announce, okay, come and apply for UID form. There is nothing like a separate UID form. You apply for UI POST-UTME registration whenever they announce it. You register together with POST-UTME candidate. There is no separate UID form anywhere. Number 8, you cannot register for UI POST-UTME registration without JAMB registration. So there is no way. I've said that earlier. And UI POST-UTME has not been announced this year. So presently, as I'm speaking, today should be 25th of January 2024. So it has not been announced this year. So anytime it is announced, just stay tuned, join various WhatsApp groups, stay tuned on all social media platforms and all that. So whenever UI is announcing POST-UTME registration, you are going to register along them. Okay, number 10. UI licensed candidate don't write UI POST-UTME exams even though you register. So they only do the UI POST-UTME registration. They do not write the exam. So that question is very clear. They will just ask me, okay, are the candidates writing POST-UTME? No. You are just register. You just register for it. So that's that about that. Let's go to mistakes that we aspirants do make. Okay, let me stop this video so that it will not be too longer. This one will be part 2, and the one I want to mention will be part 3. I hope we are clear. I hope we are clear from this very first step. Checking requirement, making sure you have it. Register for JAMB direct entry, very important. You register for UI POST-UTME direct entry registration. We are using all those languages, although not really correct, but for your understanding. You process your transcript or submit your document to the admission office. I've explained that. You follow every other procedure by JAMB regarding the registration. They will make procedure for you and all that. Make sure you complete your JAMB direct entry registration, without which you cannot register for UI direct entry or UI POST-UTME direct entry registration. Okay, every other thing they are like emphasis. I just use different languages so that you understand I'm still saying the same thing. Okay, I'm going to meet you in the next video, which I'm going to give you some hints about mistakes that you aspirant do make. See you there.